What's up and welcome back everyone, Scotty Combat here, and we have some pretty big news for Mortal Kombat. WB has decided to go ahead and give divisions to certain companies or IPs in their business, Mortal Kombat being one of them. Mortal Kombat is now a division of its own. Now this comes with news as people getting new positions in the company. From the looks of it, one of them is pretty controversial, that is, the new vice president of Mortal Kombat was also in lead production of Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. His name is Shaun Himmerick, and that may sound like good news to some of you and bad news to others. Now, he was also around the time during Mortal Kombat 11 as well. A lot of the reasons people don't seem to like him, at least in the work environment, is because of the way he did treat other employees during MK11. Of course, these are all allegations. It was crunch time. They were trying to get a lot of things done. And on the Mortal Kombat 9 / Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks side, he had some creative decision making. So, take with that what you will, whether you've played MK9 or Shaolin Monks, or if you really care about workplace politics. Of course, I'm looking into this as where this leads Mortal Kombat in the future, and I can't help but be very excited for it. Obviously, from the sounds of this, Mortal Kombat's not hitting the brakes. And for those of you wondering as well, the Legacy Kollection for Mortal Kombat that's coming out has nothing to do with this Mortal Kombat division that just got formed together. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Kollection was just made by Digital Eclipse, with the new Mortal Kombat division of course being by NRS and WB. Now that's not to say that Mortal Kombat and Digital Eclipse isn't going to work together in the future, because for this one they did. And what I mean by that is Digital Eclipse did do most of the work, but they still did collaborate with Mortal Kombat during this project. Now I want to pull back on this and just reiterate a little bit. Shaun Himmerick has been around since the Midway era, that is Shaolin Monks. This guy's been around Mortal Kombat for a while. That is really exciting for me, to know that Mortal Kombat is just going to continue wheeling out its own products now instead of waiting for whatever WB has in mind. Which Mortal Kombat was in the loop pretty frequent, but now it's actually at the forefront of being its own division, I think is really good news for us Mortal Kombat fans. Now with that said, I don't know what the future holds for Injustice, or if that's going to be under the DC department now. And I know some of you aren't going to care to hear this from me, but honestly, I'm actually happy with that, because as a diehard Mortal Kombat fan, just keep giving me Mortal Kombat. The vice president of the company was making creative decisions for MK9 and MK Shaolin Monks, both titles that I really like. And if he was known for the crunch time during MK11, even if it was a little harsh at the time, I can see why WB would put him in that position, because MK1 felt like product was coming out pretty slow. When I looked into the feedback of Mortal Kombat becoming a division now under WB and Shaun Himmerick becoming the vice president of it, there seemed to be a lot of people that were upset about it. Now, let me share that this was under the Mortal Kombat Reddit. There's people sharing comments in there that they don't like Shaolin Monks, that it didn't do a good job telling MK2. During MK11, there was an employee there that unfortunately suffered from some PTSD from the work he was doing. From the sounds of it, it was the work he was doing in creating fatalities, and then the research he had to do to create that fatality to make it look more realistic in the videos that were being looked at. I will say the way I was reading this online last night seemed a little unfair. I'm sharing my genuine thoughts on this, that I see comments saying that, well, that was Shaun Himmerick's fault for making this guy watch these videos that are messed up. It is true that an employee did report to have PTSD and took NRSWB to court over it. What I don't like seeing is people directly attributing Shaun Himmerick to this person. If that were really the case, if this guy was that much of a monster and made this guy on his own watch all these bad videos so he could make fatalities, and the fact the company had to go to court over it, would they then make him the vice president? Now I want to share on the other hand, am I saying that this new vice president is a saint? No, I don't know the guy, but it just seems a little ludicrous to lump him in with all the bad things that happened around the time of some of these games. This is why I don't like to dive deep on politics when it comes to gaming. Some of these folks are saying, oh well, I'm definitely not getting Mortal Kombat now. Yes, I do remember hearing that developers were having to work a lot of hours during MK11. It makes me wonder how much of that was dialed back for MK1, because content did come out pretty slow for MK1. I'm not supporting that people work an absurd amount of hours, and this guy being associated with people having to work an absurd amount of hours, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I can see how WB is looking at this guy like, hey, he got a lot of product out whenever we needed it, where Mortal Kombat 1 just wasn't delivering. Whatever your take is on Mortal Kombat 1, whether it's a good game or it's a bad game, I think we can all agree that the content did come out at a slower pace. With that being said, I think it makes sense they looked at this Shaun Himmerick guy and said, hey, that's someone that gets the ball rolling. I don't know how the people that work on Mortal Kombat feel about this. That experience has came and gone, and hopefully they've learned from that, and that's no longer longer going to be the case moving forward. But I'm not accusing anyone of anything because I don't know these people. All I know is I like to hit the buttons. I gotta admit, when I very first saw this, I overreacted to myself a little bit thinking, are we getting Mortal Kombat 9 again? Sounds like we might get Mortal Kombat 9 again. Sounds like we might get Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks again. Now, in all honesty, I do think that's a possibility, and I think that's a very likely possibility in the future. How long until we get those games, I don't know, but I don't think it's too far away. It does make me think with some appreciation though that, hey, this guy worked on some of my favorite titles being at the top. And look, I know I attract a lot of Mortal Kombat 1 fans over here, and lately a lot of the arcade fans as well, as I've covered the Legacy Kollection. And I do know there's folk that like MK11 in my audience, I just don't see it as much. In all honesty, I think Mortal Kombat 11 deserves a lot of credit for its presentation. I bring it up because the guy's been involved in a lot of top Mortal Kombat projects. Aside from Shaolin Monks, although it wasn't a top project like say 9 or 11, as far as most die-hard Mortal Kombat fans, it definitely is a niche favorite. I'm just going to be real with you guys about every NRS Mortal Kombat game. I can find something I like in all of them, that is Mortal Kombat 9, X, 11, and 1. I see a lot of people riff on MKX for how dark it was, but I actually really like this. Now, I don't think every Mortal Kombat game should be this dark because I do like having change. Genuinely, I like that I can look back at the Mortal Kombat games and I can play the 2D Mortal Kombats. There's Mortal Kombats that are 3D. There's assist Mortal Kombats now if you just include MK1. Now, I have seen it from both sides. That is your casual Mortal Kombat players and your die-hard fans. There have been some that say, I'm getting a little Mortal Kombat fatigue. They should take a break and then come back once it's new. Now, by saying that, I'm not trying to compare us as fans. I'm not trying to say I enjoy it more than you just because I want to see more of it. I can't help but share how excited I am because we are getting the Legacy Collector's Edition from Digital Eclipse. On top of that, we're getting the new Mortal Kombat movie, and then I see us getting another new canon Mortal Kombat game. That might take some time, but it's not like it's going to take years and years. There's not going to be an Injustice game blocking the way from the next Mortal Kombat game when Mortal Kombat's one of the 4 pillars of WB now. So going back to that strategy, I don't see why they would make another Injustice game before they make another Mortal Kombat game, knowing it's the breadwinner and they just took a hit. Also, maybe it is possible we do see another Injustice before the next Mortal Kombat, but I don't think it would be as long as a gap. I say that because maybe Injustice will come out under the DC department now, where Mortal Kombat's just going to continue doing its own thing. I can't help how excited I am, guys. It's really awesome knowing we're getting it. For most of us out there, we're just really excited to get another Mortal Kombat game. I mean, for those of you really into Mortal Kombat, let that sink in that we now have a Mortal Kombat division. I think it was about time anyway, even with MK1 not performing as well as MK11, that Mortal Kombat gets legs of its own to stand, that way it can keep releasing its own products. I get it, some people are ready for a break, and some people aren't as into Mortal Kombat, and that's fine. Guys, there's no way I couldn't make a video about this. It's exciting as a Mortal Kombat fan to see that we have so much coming. I definitely want to know your thoughts on it. Please do share down below. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. If you haven't seen my recent videos, check them out. I'm always covering Mortal Kombat and live streaming here on YouTube and Twitch. If you want to support this channel further, consider becoming a channel member, and I will see you guys live and or in the next video. Much love, my friends, and take care.